Hello, sixth grade. It's Mr. Arden. It's been a while since I've done one of these lovely videos with the lovely baseball season and stuff going on. So, just kind of making this at 10:04 at night. It'll be all right. We'll get through it somehow. We're going to talk about nets and surface area. Okay, nets and surface area, mainly surface area, but nets is just something that we use to kind of help us with surface area, almost like a cheat sheet. Okay, so what I need from you all is to get out. I almost fell. To get out a clean sheet of paper. Okay. Today is one of those days that there's going to be a ton of notes. Okay, you're going to have to stop this video, pause it, and continue it just to get through all these notes. You're not going to have an assignment today. Actually, your assignment is going to be to submit your notes because, like I said, there's a pretty good chunk of them. Okay, and it'll probably take about a class for you to do all this. But your essential question for the day: represent three-dimensional figures using nets, or use nets to find surface area. Okay, surface area is very important, especially in the world of science or things like that, because if something has more surface area, you may get a bigger reaction. Okay, so in chemical reactions, things like that, medicines, surface area is really, really important and something that you'll use a lot. Okay, it's also a geometry thing, and it also is kind of built off area, and we've been working with area for quite a while now. We've got all of our formulas, so that's going to kind of be that, okay? So let me go over here real quick and move this sharing your entire screen thing. It's not the way, but let's just talk about some basic polygons, okay? We talked about polygons today in class. We had several different shapes. I got the old triangle or triangle, if you want to say it proper, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nonagon, and the good old decagon, okay? And it's all about the number of sides and vertices you have. Remember, your sides are going to equal your vertices in these shapes. You're going to have the same amount for both. A triangle has 3 sides, quadrilateral 4 sides, pentagon 5 sides, hexagon 6 sides, heptagon 7 sides, octagon 8 sides, nonagon 9 sides, and decagon 10 sides, okay? You don't really have to know those as far as writing the shape down or anything right now. We'll kind of take notes on that as we go through, but you do have to be able to identify those. So just remember this point in the video if you need to go back and do that. And if you want to write them down, it's probably not a terrible idea. Okay? All right, for some reason, we don't want to change now, but it's okay. So let's talk about the first thing we're really going to look at with these, okay? And there's just so many vocabulary words here. But a pyramid, okay? A pyramid is a three-dimensional figure whose base is a polygon and whose other faces are triangles that meet at a point, okay? The three-dimensional figure whose base is a polygon and whose other faces are triangles that meet at a point, okay? So a pyramid is going to be identified by the shape of its base, So if you will, go ahead and pause the video at this point and write these two little notes down, okay? Once you finish writing, go ahead and unpause the video. A good way to remember this, guys, is like the pyramids of Egypt, okay? It's a pyramid. Realize as well, we're talking three-dimensional today, okay? I should have said that earlier, but with everything we're going to be discussing, we're going to be taking that 2D area and making it 3D today, or three-dimensional. So go ahead and realize that. Now, on the board, I've got two pyramids, okay? I've got two pyramids. Now, with this pyramid, like I said, you've got to study the base because on the left, that base is different than the one on the right, all right? See if you can tell me what's the difference in those two pyramids. So look at the base once again. The base on the left is going to be a triangle, and the base on the right is going to be a square. All right? Now, how many sides does a triangle have? 3. How many sides does a square have? 4. So that's going to be the difference in this, and that's something we really got to learn. Because with this triangular base, I've got 1, 2, and then a third side that you can't see. Okay? With this square pyramid, I've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4 sides on a side you can't see. So that's a big difference, okay? That's a big difference. You're multiplying something by 4 instead of 3. So please make note of that, and please look at that when you are working with these periods. Okay? Now, the next thing we have is a prism. Okay? A prism is a three-dimensional figure who's with two identical and parallel bases that are polygons. A prism is usually identified by the shape of its base. Same thing right here, okay? Please make sure to write this down. Now, you do think of a cereal box when you identify prisms. It looks like a cereal box, okay? You've kind of got that rectangular prism, cube, whatever it may be. But go ahead, pause the video, write this down, and then continue the video when you are done writing. All right, so looky here. I've got two prisms, okay? I've got two prisms. Now, study the base and identify each of these. So if I look at my base, once again, I have two different shapes. Now, on this, you've got to think, uh-oh, this thing's falling over. Okay, it got sleepy like I am right now, and it just fell over. All right, so on the one on the left, this one is a triangle, okay? And it's got 1, 2, 3 sides. And on the right, this is a square. Actually, it's not a square, it's a rectangle, my apologies. 2, 3, 4 sides. Okay? So that's going to be a prism. When talking about prisms, it's all about the face. Okay? The face is how we're going to get the surface area for these problems. So with surface area, it's important to look at the face of the cube, the face of the prism, the face of the rectangle. All right? The face is going to be what we calculate surface area on. So a face, what that is the part of a 3D shape that is flat. So an example of that would be a cube that has 6 faces. So I need you to write this bullet point and the other bullet point that I have circled in blue. Okay? And both of those are talking about faces. Now, let's talk about nets for a minute. Like I said, this is just bang, bang, bang vocabulary over and over and over. But a net is kind of like a cheat sheet. If you get a net, just go ahead and just start clapping, because that means you kind of have a cheat sheet calculating these. So as a net is a 2-dimensional pattern of shape that can be folded into a 3-dimensional figure. So what's happening is I've got this 3-dimensional shape, and with a net, I'm kind of unfolding it and pulling all the shapes out to where it's 2-dimensional. But what that does is that gives me a good viewpoint of the whole shape, okay? So they help you to identify how many faces there are in a 3D figure, all right? And it also helps you to find the surface area of a 3D figure. So if you would, please go ahead and copy that down. Please go ahead and copy that down. And then continue the video once you are done copying. All right. So, pause the video at this time and try to count how many sides you have on the objects below. All right. So just try to count it, and then we'll go over it in just a second. So on the one top left right here, let's count the sides, okay? And we'll look at the base. The base is going to be a triangle. Remember, this one's kind of falling over. It's topsy-turvy diagram. So I've got the bottom of the triangle, the top of the triangle, okay? After that, I've got 1, 2, 3 sides. So altogether, when I'm totaling these up, the 2 on the end and then the 2 in the middle, or sorry, the 3 in the middle, you have a total of 5 sides for this prism. Okay? On this one, here's my base. Okay? Here's my base. I'm going to put a 1 for the base. Now, I've got 2, 3, 4 sides. Because the base that I marked 1 is actually a triangle. So I know that each of those points are going to come to the top. Okay? Each of those points are going to come to the top. Down here on the cereal box, if you count a cereal box, on the bottom I've got 1. On the top I've got 2. Okay? I've got 3. I've got 4 when I look at one side. And then I look at the front or the sides of the cereal box. And then I look at the front and then the back of the cereal box as well. So I've got 6 sides on that shape. And guys, if you can think of something in real life to model this by, do it. For example, on that one, if this was a box of Fruit Loops, okay? Yes, I said Fruit Loops because they're awesome. On the front, I've got all my little circles of all the little Fruit Loops. Let's add some blue and green because we're going to make it colorful. Okay, then I've got the little birdie. I think his name's Toucan Sam. Sam. Golly, I'm an artist. I forgot I could draw that good. Let's do this. Let's give him a, there we go. There we go. So I've got the old Toucan Sam. All right, that's the front of the Fruit Loops. Well, up here is the top of the Fruit Loops. Down here is the bottom of the Fruit Loops. Okay? And then on the sides, I have, this is even better. Look at that, teaching on the fly. I think this toucan and that toucan kind of look the same, just my opinion. But there's the front. On the back, I have the game or whatever. On one side, see what I got. Other side, see what I got. And I got a top and I got a bottom. So a 6-sided figure. I don't know why I got onto that tangent, but just remember you can use real world examples, okay? Last one. I've got a base, and then I look up and I see a point, okay? So I know there's not another base on this. There's just sides. So after that base, I've got 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So a base plus 4 sides gives me a total of 5 sides on this shape. All right. So one last big section of surface area. Okay? Surface area, the definition of this is the sum of the areas of its faces. So if we do have a net, it's going to help you separate the shapes into different polygons. It's going to tell you how many shapes you will have to find the surface area for. Okay, so nets really help us, but we don't always get nets. Okay? The steps to finding surface area: separate the figure into different shapes. The number of faces will tell you how many shapes you have. Find the area for all the shapes and add all of the areas together. Okay, that's the last step, the third step. Please, please, please make sure you write all of this down. I know it's a lot, but like I said, no homework today. Your job is just to take notes. Pause the video and then hit continue when you have written down all of those notes. So let's go through 2 examples real quick. All right. I have my shape and then I have my net. Okay. With my shape, it's already kind of helped me to decipher what this shape is. I've got a base and then I've got 4 sides. Okay. So on this net, it does a really good job of showing me that I've got a base and then 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. And hopefully you can see that with this shape up here. So now, I've got to find 2 different things. First off, the square. How many sides of a square do I need to calculate the area? You're right, just 1, because a square is equal on all 4 sides. Let's go ahead and do that first. Area equals length times width. So for my shape up here, I've got area equals the length is going to be 16, the width is going to be 16. So 16 times 16. Okay? Now, just like anything else we've dealt with area, you are allowed to use a calculator on this. However, you must show all of your steps. Okay? So write your formula, fill in your formula, and then calculate. So 16 times 16. And what you get is area equals 256. Okay? 256. Now, that's just for the square. Remember, there's 4 other sides of this as well. Let's look at the triangle. Area equals 1/2 base times height. So I've got to fill in my information now. Area equals 1/2 times the base. Well, the base I can see is 16. Okay? Now the height. The height, if I look up, remember the height that's standing straight up tall is going to be 17. And like I said, guys, these two shapes are the exact same thing. This net on the bottom just helps us. So, 17. Now, I calculate the area here first. So I've got area equals 1/2 of 16 times 17. So A equals 1/2 of 16, which is 8 times 17. So I go 8 times 17 in the calculator. And I get A equals 136. Now, understand, that is the area of that. I have 4 sides. So what I have to do is I've got to multiply my answer by 4. So I got 136 multiplied by 4, and I get area of the triangles, the 4 triangles, equals 544. Okay, now my last step. I've got the triangles and I've got the square. So I'm going to add 256 to 544. So plus the square at 256. That gives me a grand total of area equals 800 inches squared. And that's the surface area of this whole cube. Okay? And my friends, I understand that's a lot. Please make sure you have this whole example copied down. You're going to need to reference it, okay? You're going to need to reference it. So pause the video, write the example down, and then hit continue once you are done. All right. So let's look at this. On this one, I unfortunately don't have a net. Okay? I don't have a net. But at the same time, I know I've got 4 sides in a square. Okay? And I can see that in this picture up here. 4 sides in the square. So I want you to try this. Please pause this video and try to work this out. Okay? 4 triangles and a square. Pause the video, and like I said, once you finish working it out, let's go over it right now. So we'll do the triangles first on this one. I know there's 4 of them, okay? I know there's 4 of them. And the triangles have a base of 6 centimeters and a height of 8 centimeters. So I just need to plug that into my formula. Area equals 1/2 times the base of 6 times the height of 8. Okay? 1/2 times the base of 6 times the height of 8. So the first thing I do is I go 1/2 of 6, area equals 3 times 8. And I don't need a calculator for that one because 3 times 8 is going to give me 24. Okay? So my area of one triangle is 24. But I need to multiply that by 8. Okay? Or sorry, not by 8. Sorry. I need to multiply that by 4. Okay, so 24 times 4. 24 times 4 is 96. Let me make sure on that one just to make, 100% certain. Yeah, it's 96. It is 10:23 at this point, so I don't want to steer you wrong tonight. So the area for the triangles is going to be 96 centimeters squared. So let's look at the area for the square, okay? Area equals length times width. Area equals my length times my width. I still use that same 6 centimeters that I used for the base. It doesn't matter that it was used for the base. It could still be used, or sorry, that it was used for my triangle. It's a base for the triangle and it's a base for the square. So area equals length times width. Area equals 6 times 6, which is 36. Okay? Now, I only have one square, so I keep that at that. And then I go over here and I add 36 centimeters squared to my area. Okay? That gives me 2, bring it over the 1. So I've got 132 centimeters squared. And that's going to be my surface area for this square pyramid. Okay? See if you can try this one, okay? I've got a formula at the top, but if this formula confuses you, which it may or may not, understand I've got 2 times the length times the height, 2 times the length times the width, and 2 times the height times the width, okay? Or what I can do is length times height plus length times width plus height times width. I will say, please write this formula down in your notes. That way you have it somewhere, okay? So if this is a cereal box, let's go ahead and name these sides, okay? The small rectangles are going to be my top and bottom. My 2 long rectangles are going to be my sides. And then my 2 big rectangles are going to be the front and the back of the cereal box. Okay? So let's figure this out. Now, remember in each of these, I am multiplying this times 2 because there's 2 sides of equal dimensions. So the front and back, okay? The front and back. I only have 3 numbers. That's all I need, but it does get a little bit confusing because I know that the front, the height, or the width, should I say, it doesn't matter, it's multiplication. So the height is going to be 5. So I've got A equals 5 times, now I need the bottom. Okay? But there's nothing on either one of those lines. However, I know the top is going to be the exact, oh, that was a terrible line. Let's erase that. Oops, let's erase that. Okay, it's not letting me erase it for some reason, but it's okay. I know that the top is 3 feet. So I know that I'm going to multiply by 3. Okay, so area equals 5 times 3. Area equals 15. But wait, there's 2. Okay, there's 2. So I got to multiply 2 times 15. 2 times 15 is going to be 30. So that's my answer for this one. Check it out. The 2 long rectangles are the sides. Okay, area equals length times width. Area equals the length of the sides are going to be 5. The width is going to be this shape right here, or this line right here, which is 2. So 5 times 2. So my area equals 10. Once again, you can multiply it by 2. 10 times 2 is going to be 20. Got that one. Lastly, the top and bottom. So I've got area equals the length times width. Area equals 3 times 2, because I've got top and the side. So 2 times 3. 2 times 3 or 3 times 2, whichever one, is going to be 6. Now, I multiply it by 2 because there is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. So, I've accounted for all of my sides. Now what I need to do is add these 3 numbers together. So 30 plus 20 is going to be 50. And then 50 plus 12 equals 62. So my area equals 62 feet squared. 62 feet squared. This is my last one, okay? Or this is our last one. So I'm going to find the figure and find the area. Well, what this is a triangular prism. But my rectangles are different sizes. This is just awesome. Okay? So first, let's find the area of the two triangles. Okay? I've got A equals 1/2 base times height. So A equals 1/2 times the base. I'm finding the area of a triangle, so make sure you use the triangles. The base is going to be 5. The height, what's my problem here? Okay. My height for this is going, let me check my notes here. Let me make sure I'm right before I do this. Okay, so I'm seeing what I'm doing here. Okay, I was doing a little something wrong because my base is actually not 5 feet. My area equals 1/2 times 3. Now, the reason it confused me and the reason I wasn't really 100% certain about it right there is because of this. Okay? With that being at a right angle, that tells me my height is 4. Because where it's at a right angle, it's not slanted. Okay? So I've got 3 times 4. So area equals 1/2 of 4, which is 2, times 3. Okay? And after I do that, area equals 2 times 3, which is 6. Now, remember, I've got to have 2 triangles. So I got to do 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is going to give me 12 for an area of the triangles. Okay? Now, that messes up a lot, okay? Because I know that now this is my base. This is my height. Okay? And then I've got another side because all 3 are different. So the bottom rectangle, what I do or what I have, because I have 3 and 2 on this bottom rectangle. So I've got area equals 3 times 2. So that's going to be 6. Okay? The left rectangle. So we'll go the left rectangle as this, and this. So I've got 5 feet and I've got 2 feet. A equals 2 times 5. Okay, 2 times 5 is going to be 10 feet. And lastly, the right rectangle. So boom, boom, boom. What I have on that one is 4 feet, and it's going to be the same height. So it's actually going to be 2 feet as well. So area equals 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is going to be 8. So then I do have to add these 3 together. Now there's only one of each of these, so I do not have to multiply them or anything. I'm just going to add them together. 10 plus 8 is 18. 18 plus 6 is going to be 24. Okay, 24. Now, I'm not done yet because if I have 24 for these 3 shapes, I have to go back and add this as well. So 12 plus 24 gives me 36 feet squared. And I apologize for kind of messing up on that with the first of it. It's late, okay? It's late. It's 10:33 now. Give me a break. But that is kind of all for today's lesson. There's no assignment tonight. Like I said, your assignment is going to be to send in a picture of your notes. Now, make sure that picture is clear so your teacher can see it, okay? Send in the picture of your notes, and that's going to be how we kind of grade today's assignment, all right? You will have work to do on Monday with this. So, you may want to have this video up Monday as well if you get confused along the way. I've done one of the four examples you will see, all right? So I hope everybody has a great rest of the night, day, whatever it is. And we will talk to you on Monday. Adios.